Welcome, and thanks for joining me at the bar today. And most importantly, thank you for joining us for Mise 2020. Similar to past years, this event is packed to the brim with great material and content built to engage and inspire. My name is Tony Pereyra, and I'm thrilled to be with you for this session. Reset, remix, and rebuild. Innovating your way back to the top. I've been working in the hospitality industry most of my life, starting in the kitchen almost 20 years ago. My years in the kitchen were taken over by my love and passion for cocktails and the bar business, aka the front of the house sucked me in. After several years of building bar programs and training bartenders throughout the country, the Spirits in Motion was born. Today, our company works with a variety of operators, covering hotels, casinos, theme parks, and national chain accounts. Since the conception of Mise Conference, I've been blessed to work with Jacqueline, Thomas, Alexi, and the entire Mise team. Our beverage team is responsible for pretty much all things beverage throughout the entire conference. Our team loves to showcase drinks at this conference every year. And yes, we have a passion for hospitality and beverage, but a lot has to do because we get to make drinks for such a cool crowd. It's the chefs and the F&B professionals that attend every year that see the details in the drinks, the details in the food. They share their passion and leave inspired. All this talk about beverage, I think it only makes sense to have a cocktail. Or in this case, a mocktail, one of my favorites. For our feature drink today, we have our Watermelon Honey Sparkler. Let's get this drink started and I'll tell you all about it. For our first ingredient, fresh watermelon juice. I'd say usually about 3 ounces probably pretty good for that. We're gonna add a fresh honey tarragon syrup, and that's really just infusing honey and tarragon for probably just 3 to 4 hours. And we're gonna add some fresh lime juice as well. We're gonna throw some ice in here, and some ice into our service glass. And now we're gonna shake this drink up. Get this all mixed up for you. We're going to strain this drink over fresh ice. And we're going to top with a little tonic. We're going to garnish with a giant fresh watermelon spear and 1 dehydrated lime wheel. And now we have our honey, watermelon, and tarragon sparkler. Lately, functional ingredients have been very popular, and fresh watermelon carries that healthy halo too. It's extremely hydrating and heart healthy. So this watermelon honey sparkler is a perfect match. Fun fact, this recipe is fantastic on its own, but it can always flip into a low ABV, or just by adding a spirit, it can be a cocktail too. I love tequila. Our Mise team strongly believes in quality control, so we highly recommend to taste all your product. Enjoy. Cheers. I hope you enjoyed that drink demo. That watermelon cocktail is delicious. And now let's get to business. Bar and beverage business, that is. This session will cover important topics on bar operations and beverage strategies. And throughout this session, there will be 3 key buckets we will cover. We'll surface opportunities, break down solutions, and I hope that I can give you a few tips and solutions you can take back to your bar or hotel and put into action. Our 3 key buckets will cover, number 1, operation challenges versus labor solutions. Number 2, how to scale for success. And number 3, holding on to the rope, tapping in to the beverage pipeline. Let's get into our first bucket, operation challenges and labor solutions. One of my least favorite quotes growing up in the restaurant and the kitchen was yes is the answer, what is the question? This was taught to me by my first chef and management team, and they would drill our team with this message until we wanted to scream or just hide in the walk-in mid-shift. Today, with hospitality always top of mind, this quote not only resonates deeply with me and keeps me grounded, but it's a tool and a practice I use consistently when training. And as you are challenged with finding ways to improve, here's a few common issues I've seen recently with operation challenges and solutions to back it up. Number 1, onboarding and training. With the current climate and locations starting to slowly reopen, everyone is challenged with this department. And it's time that we look at this with the glass half full mindset and begin to plan and pivot. I think we all know training and onboarding is not cheap. And when you're bringing back your associates, staff levels are not going to be the same. So you want to maximize. A couple ways this can be done are, number 1, hiring the hybrid associate. Cross-train and cross-utilize. With the right training, you'll be able to have flexibility and balance when your team can work in multiple positions. Number 2, driving product knowledge. Ongoing training and education will be a big part of how we adapt and improve the service and experience. And number 3, train for the future. As business and staff levels increase, it will be important to create a train-the-trainer program in your early stages. This way, you'll be able to identify your leaders and create the culture your guests will come back for. The second part of this bucket is simplified operations and the guest experience. Our team believes that there is not just one way to achieve the success. There are elements to your business you should be paying attention to that will add to your bottom line. One key element is to simplify operations through staffing layers, and here's a couple examples. Number 1, maximize the talents of your team by highlighting their creativity through in-house beverage promotions. Utilize the talent and creativity through incentive programs, getting your team members to buy in to your new program. Number 2, building the atmosphere with trust and transparency. Not only will your staff be looking for a safe workplace, the guests are also looking for some kind of trust and transparency too. Whether it's designated sanitation zones, safe stations for distancing, or even having signage up, visibility of what steps are taken can go a long way. Our last topic in this bucket is beverage menu refresh with a new approach. Another example of how things have changed. The physical act of welcoming, the handshake. This gesture is not just welcoming guests into the bartender's house, but the handshake was also welcoming them into the beverage experience. Knowing that handshakes are not so popular in our current day-to-day, we also have recognized the guest experience has shifted too, and a different demand for certain beverage types are rising. So naturally, it's time to adjust if you haven't already. This presents you the opportunity to improve in this particular area, and here are a few tips I want to share that can help with a new approach. Number 1, simplified prep and execution. Adjustments to prep and ease of execution are a must. But with these types of adjustments, it's important not to lose the creativity and to continue to deliver top quality beverages with a new approach. Using hybrid juice mixes like a grapefruit, lime, and cinnamon for a tiki blend, or even a classic highball cocktail like one of my favorites, the gin and tonic. There are several opportunities to tap into. Number 2, approachable menu offerings. Having the simplified beverage offerings can help, but there will be another key factor, value. But adding value to your beverage menu isn't giving discounts. It's having creative offerings to help drive product and keeps the guests happy. One example is a premium pour. Instead of just selling only a 2-ounce pour of Louis XIII for $250, offer a 3/4 ounce, 1.25 ounces, and then a 2-ounce pour with a price scale that can be approachable for a wider audience. Give it a try. You might be surprised of how quick that bottle runs out. In our second bucket, we have scale for success. Every year at Mise, I'm asked a ton of questions about the drink recipes, inspiration, and even the execution. But one of the most common questions I get asked every year is, Tony, I love this drink, but how do I do this at my hotel? In this section, we will be covering a couple different options for beverage service. As we continue to adjust every day At our locations, managing PARs and ordering systems have also impacted the day-to-day. Sustainability and cross-utilizing ingredients from back of the house to the front of the house was once a trend, but now it's a demand and a need. A new approach is a must, and we are now challenged to stay innovative while staying profitable with less. Kitchens from all over are not only challenged with this, but it'll deeply affect the bar and beverage bottom line too. So our challenge has increased, but it's not just about surviving the work week. It's about putting our best foot forward and strategizing with your teams to create new channels and action plans towards better habits and stronger goals. It's our opportunity to change the old habits and build new systems, not just for survival, but for continued success. Here's a few examples. Number 1, to-go solutions. There's 3 main points I want to touch on this. Number 1, creativity. Make sure to have a unique and creative recipes that are fast and execution. Number 2, quality. Still drive quality through fresh ingredients and unique to-go vessels. And number 3, IG friendly. Presentation is a must, and if you're following the tips above, you'll be sure to be getting some attention. Our second example is batching for success. Number 1, labor saver. We know that time is money, and when batching a craft cocktail, you can save a ton of time pouring an 8-ingredient drink with 1 pour versus grabbing 8 different ingredients to pour that drink. Number 2, cross-utilize. As mentioned above, custom blend juices like grapefruit, lime, and cinnamon, or an agave lime to help speed up the steps of service when making a drink. And number 3, health and hygiene. When you're following the right steps, you have way less contact points when pouring from a batch versus making a drink from scratch. And our third example, dead stock, pour off. The dead stock, a common issue in all types of bars. Bar managers get stuck with one random bottle, and before they know it, they're counting inventory on product that never moves. And number 2, the pour off. Using the dead stock and other custom juice blends to create recipes that turn dead stock into pure profit. For our last bucket, we have hold it on to the rope. This bucket was made to inspire your innovation pipeline. In this session, we touch on a few ways to improve your beverage innovation. It's imperative we continue to feed the innovation pipeline. And while operations are looking different, it's even more important to keep innovating. As crucial as this is to increase the value in the guest experience, it also helps drive the motivation and inspiration for your in-house culinary or beverage teams. A few actionable items are, number 1, draft solutions. With newly advanced kegs and equipment, there are endless solutions to put just about any type of drink on draft. They offer a few things that you can't miss. Number 1, versatility. From cocktails to non-alc, low ABV, fresh juice, sparkling still, or even nitro. The possibilities are endless. Number 2, ROI and maximize the profitability. There's no doubt draft beverages is an investment, but one thing to know, draft or keg beverages have a lot of room to profit and grow. They offer up to 98% yield on each keg, turning your draft program into top line profits. Next, adding the fresh finish. You may lose some of the bar flair and the bar theatrics pouring a draft beverage, but by adding a fresh finish like a microflower or an orange zest to your draft drink, will add that extra touch guests are looking for. Our next example is merchandising the grab and go. A couple examples are, number 1, RTD rotations. The ready-to-drink category isn't slowing down. With the endless amounts of products on the market, be sure to monitor the products that are successful and the others that fall short. It will be smart to keep the rotations fresh. Next, style and categorize. Maximize your real estate. It's competitive, but guests are looking for new drink options. And styling plus merchandising can go a long way and help to keep you moving product. Next, in-house selections. This can be a big opportunity for branding. As you're creating the grab and go program, don't forget to include your in-house creations. Maybe a house-made ginger beer on draft that can be bottled into a Moscow Mule, or even offer an in-house sparkling lemonade that kids or adults can enjoy too. Take advantage of these opportunities when you can. You won't be sorry. The passion for hospitality can take you in many different directions. To be on the front lines and being challenged every day with new people, new budgets, and all the other things that keep our feet moving keeps us ready for the next challenge. And this can be rewarding in so many different ways. That wraps up this session. But from this session, don't forget a few key takeaways. Number 1, solve operation challenges with cross-training and menu planning. Number 2, scale for success and capitalize on to-go options and batching. And number 3, hold it on to the rope. Keep feeding that innovation pipeline. That's all I have for us today. Thank you so much, and until next time, cheers.